Game number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Already a very dominant performance by BlossoM in the first game against SPT, but of course the Chinese are eager to come back into this. Bit of an unorthodox draft here, more around Zarya, a little bit more down to the Chinese style, with the Cassie coming in, plus Maiev. So let's see if SPT can actually pull this off. That's going to be easy against the strong Koreans.
10 seconds.
Luckily, they have Zarya.
Yeah.
5.
Modern, he's going to be on that Sergeant Hammer. That's the main one.
Was that a gravity pun set up that I completely botched?
No, it's luckily. Luckily.
Okay, my bad. I thought too complicated.
Yeah, we're just keeping it simple here. I really am curious where Sergeant Hammer
That's
will...
an interesting standoff that we have there. And we saw Okay, dude, like, the best thing is this happens and I turn around and I look at the Koreans and the entire team of BlossoM is just laughing. As Misaka moves in, it's like, wait a second, this is weird, why can't I move? Oh my god, there's a hammer there.
There is the thing, like if you run into an invisible hero in a bush, if you run into them and make contact with them, even not being able to see them, the red eye will appear over your head. And he's like, wait a minute, hold on, I've got to throw this down. Hammer gets the knockback though and makes sure not to get tossed over. No unstoppable until level 4.
Yeah, that was definitely an interesting setup there. Especially, I mean, if he would have known, right? He could have easily just like stun Hammer out and flip him over. What I found also very interesting is that there's nobody in the top lane on the side of SPT. They're finally sending Maiev over, but she is also forced to take the safe path because Urel interrupted her.
Yeah, that's such a smart play. For solo laners, the best thing to do in competitive is to deny experience from your opponent. Sergeant Hammer sieges up and you deny the experience. So Urel could have passed to the right side, but it's a matter of like, look, SPT has to catch this wave soak. So what you do is you simply have the, hey, I'm going to dismount you so that you can't come up. You deny XP. That's why you see a marginal lead in terms of experience. It's not substantial, but it does add up over time. So small plays like that for a team like BlossoM, I think are always fun to point out.
Okay, finally they send also a second hero up to the top lane, because let's face it, if you're Maiev and you go up against Urel and Hammer, you just have nothing to say on that lane. So they're bringing Zarya to the top lane to try and deal with that a bit, and at least help out with some range poke. And it was about time, because they already started to lose a lot of hit points on those towers. But at least in the bot lane, SPT is starting to do a little bit better.
And we did see some early aggression onto Gondar in the early part, but with SPT, that was because they had the 5-man unsuccessful in that. So they did give up some in the top lane for that attempt, but those are situations that if you don't get those picks and you make those attempts too often and you don't get those picks, then it will come back to haunt you and you'll find yourself behind. And again, you can look at the experience, obviously that's going to be soaked up there, but BlossoM incrementally is what the better teams can do against some of the less strong opposition, is that you just try and find ways to get small leads, then also you get a pick, and then it just snowballs from there. I mean, the lineup is absolutely terrifying, right? So that's definitely one of those things to watch out for here. Behemoth armor, by the way, taken on level 4 for Reyna, so no fight or flight for him. Instead, really trying to get those extra stacks and the additional hit point pool. Always find it interesting when that talent comes out. Shrimpy was also like trying that out a lot when Reyna started to enter the scene here, but then moved away back into fight or flight and said, okay, I still believe it's just a better talent to take. But from BlossoM's perspective, it's interesting that they go for the enlarged hit point pool. See how much he can get stacked on Garage. Merida again making a large amount of CC to be had for his team. There's going to be the toss in. Gondar, he's in a bad spot, but potions are going to be there. There's the knockback from Urel, keeping everybody alive. SPT continuing to be aggressive. Unable to do so as Modern sieged up behind that wall, poking down in return.
Yeah, Gondar working still on those stacks. And I mean, I give the talent one thing. If you're going for Behemoth armor over fight or flight, the early game is a bit stronger for you because you get that additional boost of HP. And then, of course, the stacking process continues throughout the later stages. So early on, if you're really trying to win the early game and you feel this is a pivotal part of your strategy, then that's a great talent to take here. And as we can see now, BlossoM is taking that early game. Already half a level lead, winning the halftime show here on the first Immortal.
Well, Wiz trying to give that protection, give that armor. There's going to be the toss back in. Gondar caught in again. Modern continuing to poke down. ZZH trying to get away. Surprised we don't have a dragon coming out here to potentially hold on, as Soap barely able to survive.
Yeah, talk about Hammer though. The mines, and he walks straight into that trap. Goes down, Maiev falling. I'm a bit surprised that he even tried to turn on Honkono. He jumped in deep, but he didn't get punished for it. Wiz now, on the other hand, finds himself in a bit of a pickle, but he is, I mean, he's URL, so he's not going to fall here, at least not anytime soon. Melody C at least charging down Honkono a little bit and getting a lot done here on the stacking process, sitting at 27 already on his Lightning Fury quest.
Not too shabby. We'll see if they continue to go. Obviously, getting the bonus damage and then getting that extra charge does allow you to poke down in those situations. Single target damage is definitely there. See if that will be enough to turn the tide. But right now, because they push so much in for that defense, this is a very healthy shielded Immortal pushing down bot lane.
And that's a huge problem. You have a Hammer together with that Immortal, and now we're having hovering siege mode any second available to Modern Life. So this is going to be especially rough, since you can't engage into it. You talked about this earlier. We have, first of all, through Merrydale, a lot of lockdown, but then Honkono has the face melt ready. He can always create the space when he has to. This is a disaster for SPT, as you can tell. They are losing the first 4 to the Immortal, and that bad boy is still on 80% HP.
We're looking at keep wall going down here, and if it's not defended well enough, BlossoM might be able to snowball this towards 10. Right now, the keep wall responding in melee range. You see Misaka going forward, seeing if he can get any type of flip, any type of control, and that created space.
Look at Wiz, just angering the entire play here together with the Hammer Mines. Soap is thinking about moving in, but even that is going to be rough. They're trying to go for Cassia now, and Melody C is in trouble. Might be able to walk away just barely as Garrosh goes in for the save, but Soap is getting body blocked here by Honkono as we see ETC trying to go for a kill.
Well, that is one tower down on the keep wall. They're looking for a second as they siege back up. Urel is just going to hop on her allies there with that level 4, providing that armor. It's something that we know Urel players, they love to do. Just protect the hammer, protect the Rainer in any case. You can see he's charged up, giving armor over to Gondar as they're looking to potentially turn this fight. Honkono, however, getting caught on the front lines. He's trying to walk away, and that's going to be a takedown there for SPT to get their first one of the series there. And you mentioned the ETC sometimes being squishy. Yeah,
exactly. That's exactly the problem that you have there. I mean, there are good arguments to be made for ETC. We talked about the space creation that he has and how he gave safety to the backline a lot. But if you think about Muradin, he would in a lot of these situations just be a lot more self-sustaining and can also lead with the extra Stormbolt in the CC here. But yeah, that's a bit of the trade-off there. So Honkono needs to be careful. And we know that he likes to be a bit more on the aggressive side oftentimes. So with ETC, you always have to be cautious here. But SPT getting that kill, that is one of those moments where they can start to take a bit of control themselves, and they are using that now to go to the bot lane, at least drop those 2 towers. That's super important going into the second Immortal phase, because we are seeing level 10 being threatened by BlossoM.
Now, generally in this situation, you look at Expulsion Zone being on an extremely short cooldown. Cassia has Valkyrie potentially there. Those are interrupt options towards a mosh pit, and they're on short enough cooldowns, especially the Expulsion Zone, to where it's almost impossible. But if you can get the 10 tier first, it now opens up the opportunity of saying, well, what if we just go ahead and mosh pit now and then just snowball from here? Establish such a large lead that the early mosh pit, if you can get it and catch your opponent off guard and get a couple of kills early game, it might be a chance for him to lock that in.
And there we have the race. If you have Hammer in such a great position with the Immortal spawning to the right side, trying to defend that is pretty much impossible, so you want to go immediately for the race. And this is actually where SPT is now a decent spot. The problem is the level 10, and we have that in now. And right now, if you're the Chinese team, you just have to accept it. You might be even shocking around and trying to get some poke damage against the opponent's Immortal is nearly impossible. So they will have to simply accept that the second Immortal is also lost. They just need to try and get level 10 at least for the defense, and that's why we're currently seeing Maiev up in the top lane. Also a bit of a missed move here against Luckily. But as long as they don't fall here and get their heroic abilities, they should be able to defend against this.
You can tell BlossoM is feeling it, and it's more Korean style, but BFG picked up as opposed to the other heroic, the Napalm Strike, to where you normally get that just, hey, look, I'm poking down, poking down, poking down, but BFG, you're looking to execute, and with Mosh Pit on the other side, that's no surprise.
Also, when it comes to stacking process, we have ETC already completing his level 1, the Frog Rock. Super important here, and also very impressively done. Taking the 2 Immortals, of course, helps as well with it. The Lightning Fury quest of Cassia is completed. And we're talking about Behemoth armor. We're looking at 23 stacks here, and he's just getting a few more as we're seeing damage coming in against Misaka, but Honkono is also low, and he dies first. ETC is down.
The defense is holding. The Hyperion continues to siege up. Soap just trying to get out of there. He's going to get a hand there from Garrosh. And now Garrosh, he's stuck in the middle. Dragon Queen is out, keeping them all alive. Garrosh is going to survive in this moment. Wiz holding strong for now.
That was actually really well done here on the side of Misaka, like keeping himself alive through all of this, and then Alex Straza coming in too. That was fantastic play by them. And the kill against ETC is what initiated all of that. That one kill made sure that there was very little frontline control from BlossoM, and SPT capitalized on it really well. But I still can't believe Misaka actually survived that onslaught that came his way.
Surprising to look up and see just a one-level lead, but the way that BlossoM has been able to turn it around, or the SPT has been able to survive in this moment, has been very telling that their resilience is theirs. There's going to be the taunt. Wiz is surviving. Expulsion Zone's going to be there. Stay well and listen. We'll buy enough time.
Oh my
and
God.
you can see Cassia almost confirm that kill with a lightning ball.
Merry Day with a save. I mean, that was absolutely crazy. There was like 1 or 2 hit points left on Wiz, and Urel barely survives thanks to the play that we saw from Deckard Kane there. Really well done. But again, SPT is at least putting some work in. They are in the lead when it comes to kills. They're still a level behind. But if you consider how this game started, this is actually not too bad from the Chinese game. This is miles away from what we've seen in game 1.
The Garrosh taunt in the expulsion zone, just trying to isolate anybody. If that's anybody other than Urel, that's a dead hero. But Urel surviving a Merry Day was forced to use a heroic to make the play to keep him alive, and it was barely enough there. The containment disc, also another option for the potential Mosh interrupt. And Honkono, see if he can make the big play. Sometimes when you're used to dominating and then you get in this situation, you're like, wait, do I need to make the big play?
This is actually something on the side of ETC that I would really like to see. It's great that you pointed out. He doesn't have to be the massive playmaker here. As long as he buys space for the rest of the team, he can just really rely on his allies to slowly push it in. It's something that we highlighted during the draft here. For SPT, even though they play this game so much better than they did on To the Spider Queen, the big disadvantage is still that talent lead that BlossoM just picked up. The level 13 talent coming in as the 30 mortal spawns gives them a huge advantage heading into this. We're having the race, and that's actually one of those moments where, again, BlossoM just has the better rotation here and does extremely well. It's all to the question, is SPT willing to take that fight? Given that it's a Chinese team, normally the answer to that question is yes. It's just simply, can they really get another kill here and work this?
Well, it's all about Misaka and whether he can make that play as he moves forward here with the Garrosh, and he gets the stun, gets the lockdown. Wiz, however, did not go Ardent Defender and said he's going to hold his ground here, getting that 40 armor, but the minute he leaves that heroic is now down. We'll see if he reapproaches, but right now Modern and team are sieging up. Stay a while and listen is going to keep 1, 2 members, 3 members locked in. Now we're going to see how the fight comes out as Containment Disc starts.
And the level 13 is a huge trouble. Hyperion comes out once again. Gondar's being chased here, but Melody C has to move back as Wiz comes in for reinforcements. And that Immortal barely survives for now, so the defense is going strong for SPT, but they're still far behind. They're trying to go down to the bottom and maybe race this one. They're actually doing a great job here considering that they are talent down, but they still have to be careful because BlossoM is so close to grabbing that objective, and they are able to get it, but the fight isn't over yet.
There's the taunt. Misaka, he's holding on the front. The Indomitable is going to be there. The shield will keep him alive for now as they can hold. Cleansing Flame is keeping multiple members alive, and somehow Misaka, he is 9 lives here in this fight. And Honkono, he's stuck in a position. Here's going to be the slide, seeing if he can find a mosh pit opportunity.
Misaka loves Garrosh, and you can definitely see why. It's unbelievable that he survived again a second time in one of these big fights, but the fight isn't over yet as we are seeing Maiev in trouble. Once again, it's Garrosh trying to save her, but this time the kill is secured as BlossoM moves in. 13 talent comes back into the hands of SPT, but the push through the bot lane is strong, and that's the second kill as Misaka finally falls.
Now BlossoM will look to siege up and take down maybe not just 1, but 2 keeps, as the Immortal will be pushing top, and if things go any bit worse for SPT, they get another pick, and they might be looking for a Wiz goes in. He gets the back over. There's the BFG. They're trying to get the lockdown. That's going to be another takedown against SPT. BlossoM, they'll siege up on the keep here. They are taking complete control of this game.
Yeah, they're absolutely dominating this right now. A 2-level lead once again. Talents are the same, but with the keep at the bot lane falling, we're now seeing the Immortal shredding the one at the top. And with that double keep play, BlossoM takes a 3-level lead and the talent advantage.
It's feeling very familiar for BlossoM to have this amount of lead, and it took them a while to get there, but they have established the same lead that they had in game number 1. SPT, they still have that fighting chance at any moment for Garrosh and team to just find that one pick, find that isolation. That's all they need to get this turned back around. So we know Towers of Doom has crazy comebacks, but I've seen a Dignitas team come back from double keeps being lost before. So we'll see if SPT can recreate some of that magic of their own.
It's for SPT, it's actually a little bit heartbreaking considering how easily BlossoM took game number 1. They did so much better in game number 2, but it was at every step, every objective, they played at a talent disadvantage. First it was level 10, then it was level 13, and that's just a massive problem for them because a lot of the fights they actually controlled quite well, and especially the plays around Misaka and Garrosh allowed him to save heroes over and over again. He himself keeping himself alive after so many resources got spent on trying to secure a kill against him. But now being down 2 keeps, of course, it is not going to be easy. The next Immortal is going to tell how this is going to go. It's all about SPT's ability to find a kill here, and it's going to be extremely difficult. I don't see how they can possibly pick that up unless there's a misplay on BlossoM's side.
Well, you can see Soap is trying to find his way into the back. Merryday is saying, look, if you come this way, you are greeted by a Roots. You can see the heads-up plays to keep this, but they are sieging up behind the Sergeant Hammer. They now have catapults that are moving forward. The Impalers are there. They bought time. They bought space. And SPT, the entire time they're here, they're just losing control of the map. And the minute this spawns in 10-15 seconds, BlossoM will just look to move back, get in position, and look to repeat the last Immortal.
Reyna is also at this point on 48 stacks on his Behemoth armor, so that's another 250 hit points that he nearly secures there, which makes the talent worth 500 HP, which is absolutely crazy right now. The stacking that he gets through just dropping the auto attacks onto mostly Garrosh and Maiev is absolutely crazy. Great value for Gondar here. It just continues as we see SPT setting up the final stand. But once again, Meriden, the 4-man sleep here. Great play by him. Meriden setting it up for the rest of the team. And there's Maiev falling as Reyna just goes in.
Honkono was looking for that big play, but you can see Misaka still trying to hold on as he got the toss back over. Melody Z going in deep with the cleansing flame. He's going down, but will he survive? And it looks like that's going to be enough for another takedown here against SPT. Nice. That was actually very impressive by Misaka to catch him in the middle of the power side.
But that's the 3rd kill now. Alexstrasza is down, and we're seeing the catapults already homing in on the core towards the left side. Even without the Immortal, you have 3 heroes dead, and BlossoM, they don't even go for the objective. They don't have to. They go straight for Garrosh. They drop him as well, and now it's only the core here. This is going to be the 2-0 that so many people expected. SPT was trying to be the team that takes down a Korean opponent, but it's not going to happen.
And Honkono, that guy is probably in every sense a rock star. Like from fashion to style to play style. That's like the embodiment of Honkono right there. BlossoM securing this, but not without a challenge this time around. But you can tell the Korean fans are happy.
Oh yeah, they're definitely happy. This is the one game that they were maybe a little bit worried about. It's the thing with China. They come into the tournament, they show some confidence, they talk about how they identified weaknesses that they worked on. And you never really know what's gonna come out of that region. And when you have that seed coming in and they're saying, okay, we believe we can at least beat BlossoM here, you have to at least give them some credit and respect. But now BlossoM just shown that with the coordination that they have, with the high mechanics and the decision making in the late game, they were just a superior team in this series.
Snitch, this is your first time obviously on the analyst desk, but we know that you study teams globally. You delve deep into several regions to see how things work. But now that you have this take on it, what are things that you look at when you see BlossoM here to open the day? What are some of the things that you focus on as a player that maybe other players might be looking at?
I mean, I think it was nice to see some signs of life from the Chinese squad, actually. I think BlossoM definitely, we talked about that ETC pick, and I think maybe that was a little bit troubling for them. At certain points in this game, the ETC seems a little bit shaky, and it leads a little bit of, are their drafts going to be as strong as they need to be to take some of these top Korean teams? Because I think looking at this game, we could be kind of sure at this point if SPT is the Chinese powerhouse, it doesn't look great for China. So I think we're looking a lot more of these Korean versus Korean matchups.
Let's come back to ETC for a second. Do you feel it was the pick? Do you think maybe Meridian would have been the better choice here? Or was it more an issue of Honkono maybe a bit too aggressive and looking for a play where he could have just sat back and wait for the rest of his team to push him?
Yeah, I mean, it could be a bit of both, I mean, I think if he just plays safe for the ETC, he's going to get value that way. But at the same time, is that the way you want to play the game? Yeah. I think against some of these top Korean rosters, you're going to need to be playing the Meridian and just looking for these more aggressive picks if possible.
I mean, everything looked good for BlossoM in the later part of the games, but SPT, the fact that they were able to fight does show signs of life. Yes, this is the number 4 seed Korean team, but for them to have the ability to fight within there, I do worry, obviously, because it was Tomb of the Spider Queen and Battlefield of Eternity. Those are the least macro-heavy maps that we have, and it is a lot around the brawls. If they can take it to these styles, obviously they're going to fall down to the lower bracket, but they'll have an opportunity to fight their way back through that lower bracket, as we know several teams have done throughout our clashes. But it does give you hope for the Chinese teams that they always have that fighting chance to make these plays to get back into the game. And I think that's got to be a very positive sign for China.
For me, the one moment, normally I agree with you here completely. The one thing where I say I'm a bit worried is because this first round is a best of 3. So that's the one advantage that you have.
Yeah.
And of course, a lot of teams, as you say, they get a bit more traction once they start with the tournament. You get a bit more experience. You're finding your rhythm. You get adjusted to the stage and everything. But I think the best of 3 gives such an advantage to teams that rely more on a surprise factor, like maybe that Zarya coming here, for example, that in the best of 5 setup, it becomes a lot more difficult for them. So I'm curious to see if other teams, maybe like the One, have a chance to make something happen here. But I really felt that this was the best chance for China to have that impact. And so far, BlossoM just shut them down without even losing a map.
Snitch, not to bring back any bad memories, but best of 3 was a format at BlizzCon last year, and going into that top 8 as the tier falls. Caldor brings up a good point, because it puts more pressure on. You drop game number 1, that pressure's there. You can't drop another game. For these teams, obviously, you can fall down to the lower bracket, something you're not exactly familiar with. But is there that mentality when you are the number 1 or one of the better teams, say, you know, Dignitas? We see a team coming in, that's a best of 3. Is there that fear factor that somebody might come in and do that? Or for a team that's as well established, is that an issue for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think, of course, I think you're always a little bit more nervous about the best of 3 style. As you say, it benefits these teams that need to rely on a little bit more surprise factor quite a lot. Like, even in our set of the Western Clash, we played Team Mortalysis. You know, this first game, we weren't feeling super dominant, and it's a best of 3, you know? So if we don't close that one out, yeah, it could get a little bit scary. But, I mean, I think, you know, as long as you're the confident team, the best of 3 shouldn't be too much of a worry.
Well, we are ready. We do have an interview for you guys. It will be BlossoM over there, and G-Clef is going to handle it for us.
Hello and welcome to the interview. We have the winners for the first match. It is going to be Mary Day from BlossoM. Welcome. Congrats on your first win. Do have a first question though. That was a clean 2-0 victory. How do you feel after the first match?
네, 우선 축하드리고요. 굉장히 깔끔하게 2대0으로 이겼는데 소감이 어떠신가요?
그냥 예상했던 결과라서 별로 큰 감정 변화는 없는 것 같고요. 아무래도 해외 대회를 많이 나가봤어서 그런지 긴장감도 별로 없고 그냥 항상 견제되는 거는 한국 팀인 것 같아요.
So nothing too special. I mean, something I expected, and I've been to overseas events many times, so I'm not nervous at all, and I'm more aware of the Korean teams than the Chinese teams. Yeah.
Okay, that's great to hear from you, Mary Day, the legendary support player, of course. But second question, how strong do you actually think the Chinese teams are right now in the Eastern Clash?
현재 이스턴 클래시에서 중국 팀들의 실력이 어느 정도라고 생각하시나요?
메타가 한 2개, 3개 정도 좀 뒤로 가 있는 듯한 그런 느낌을 많이 받았어요.
I get the impression that there are 2 or 3 meta behind Korean teams.
That's some spicy words from you, Mary Day. But we have the last question, and it's going to be, of course, where do you guys see to finish in the Eastern Clash? Where do you see in terms of placement at the end?
이번 이스턴 클래시에서 순위를 어느 정도까지 도달할 거라고 예상하시나요?
저희 목표는 일단 전부 4등을 목표로 하고 있는데요. 저는 개인적으로 애들이 약간 대회 때 더 못하는 느낌을 받아요. 그래가지고 긴장만 안 하고 좀 평소 연습할 때처럼만 하면은 블랙에도 충분히 젠지 팀에도 밀리지 않는 그런 느낌을 받기 때문에 연습 때만큼만 해줬으면 좋겠어요.
So our goal is to make it to 4th place, and I personally get the feeling that my teammates don't perform as well as they do during practice. So as long as they don't get nervous and play in their normal form, I believe we can even take Genji.
All right, that's great to hear from you, Mary Day. Thank you for the interview, and good luck in the rest of the matches. And that's it for the interview, but we will be back. We'll have next match coming up very soon. CE versus Tempest coming right up, so don't go anywhere.